The morning sun cast long shadows across New Chicago Colony as Officer Lily Martinez clipped the leash onto her German Shepherd's collar. Max wagged his tail and looked up at her with intelligent brown eyes. The neural implant at the base of his skull glinted in the sunlight. "Ready for patrol, buddy?" Lily asked, scratching behind his ear. Max barked once, a clear affirmative. The neural tech that linked them allowed for basic communication beyond traditional training. After 4 years as partners in the K9 unit, they moved together like a single organism. Lily's wrist communicator buzzed. She tapped it to answer. "Martinez here." "Officer Martinez, report to Captain Nelson's office immediately," said the dispatcher, voice unusually stiff. Lily frowned. "We're just starting morning patrol." "Captain's orders. Priority level 1. The communication ended abruptly. Lily looked down at Max, who tilted his head in question. "Change of plans. We're heading to the station." When they arrived at the precinct, something felt wrong. Officers who normally greeted them with friendly nods avoided eye contact. The usual buzz of conversation stopped when they walked through. Outside Captain Nelson's office stood 2 officers Lily didn't recognize. They wore the silver insignia of Confederation security, not local police. Their hands rested casually on their weapon holsters. "Officer Lily Martinez?" the taller one asked. "Yes. Your K9 needs to remain outside." Max growled low in his throat. Lily placed a calming hand on his head. "He stays with me. Regulation 47B allows K9 officers to keep their partners present during all official proceedings." The officers exchanged glances. "Fine," the shorter one said. "But he'll need to be restrained." Inside, Captain Nelson sat behind his desk looking tired. 3 more Confederation officers stood along the wall. A holographic display projected various documents and images that Lily couldn't quite make sense of. "Sir?" Lily asked. "What's going on?" Captain Nelson wouldn't meet her eyes. "Officer Martinez, these agents are here to place you under arrest." The words hit her like a physical blow. "What? On what charges?" One of the Confederation officers stepped forward. "Lily Martinez, you are under arrest for high treason against the Galactic Confederation, specifically for smuggling Earth weapons technology to the Orion Alliance." Lily's mind reeled. The Orion Alliance was a rebel faction operating at the edges of colonized space. She'd never had any contact with them. "This is absurd," she said. "I've never—" "We have evidence," the officer interrupted, activating the holographic display. Images appeared in the air between them. Shipping manifests with her security clearance code, transfer authorizations bearing her digital signature, surveillance footage of someone, a woman who looked remarkably like her, meeting with known Orion operatives. "That's not me," Lily said, pointing at the footage. "I've never been to that location. Biometric scans confirm it is you," the officer replied coldly. "Your neural patterns match our database records." Max growled again, louder this time. He sensed Lily's distress, the rising panic she fought to control. "This is a mistake," she insisted. "Someone has fabricated this evidence." "The evidence has been verified by 3 separate security divisions," said the Confederation officer. "You will be transported to the Central Justice Facility for processing and trial." When they moved to place restraints on her wrists, Max lunged forward, barking fiercely. One of the officers drew his weapon. "No!" Lily shouted. "Max, stay!" The German Shepherd froze mid-motion, still growling but obeying the command. "Your K9 will be taken to military processing," the officer said. "Given your charges, he may be compromised as well." "He's innocent," Lily said quickly. "Whatever you think I did, he had nothing to do with it." The trial lasted 3 weeks. Each day, Lily was transported from her cell to the courtroom where evidence mounted against her. Her defense attorney seemed overwhelmed, unable to explain how Lily's security codes were used or why the biometric data matched so perfectly. Throughout the proceedings, Lily caught glimpses of Max being led to and from a separate holding area. He looked thinner already, his normally bright eyes dull with confusion. The sight broke her heart more than her own situation. On the final day, Lily stood as the three judges prepared to deliver their verdict. The courtroom was silent. Lily Martinez, this tribunal finds you guilty of treason against the Galactic Confederation, announced the center judge, her voice echoing through the chamber. The evidence presented allows no other conclusion. Lily's legs felt weak. She gripped the defense table to stay upright. Given the severity of your crimes, which have resulted in the deaths of 17 Confederation citizens and compromised critical defense systems, this tribunal sentences you to death by neural dissolution. A murmur ran through the courtroom. Neural dissolution was rarely used, a process that would systematically erase her consciousness while preserving her body for scientific study. You will be transported to the Europa detention facility where the sentence will be carried out in 30 days, allowing time for final appeals, the judge continued. Your canine unit, designation Max, will be evaluated for potential neural contamination given your linked implants. If cleared, he will be reassigned. If not, he will be terminated. No, Lily whispered. Please, he's done nothing wrong. Her plea was ignored as the judges filed out of the courtroom. Guards approached to return her to her cell. As they led her away, she saw Max being taken through a side door by handlers wearing the insignia of the military canine division. Their eyes met across the room. Human and dog. A moment of connection through their neural link. Find the truth, she whispered, knowing the implant would carry more than just her words. It would carry her certainty of innocence, her fear for him, and her desperate hope. Max barked once, straining against his handlers. In that sound, Lily heard his promise. The next morning they came for her early. A transport ship waited to take her to Europa, Jupiter's moon where the Confederation maintained its maximum security facility. As they led her aboard in restraints, Lily caught a final glimpse of Earth through a viewport, blue and beautiful, and soon to be left behind. She thought of Max and wondered if she would ever see him again. She didn't know that at that very moment. In the sterile confines of the military kennel, the German Shepherd's neural implant was doing something unexpected. As a veterinary tech ran a standard scan, unusual patterns flickered across the monitor, patterns that looked almost like human thought. Max lay still, appearing to cooperate, but inside his enhanced mind, something remarkable was happening. The implant, designed only to improve his communication with Lily, had created something more, a bridge between canine instinct and human reason. And with it, a single driving purpose, to save his human and expose whoever had framed her. The vet tech frowned at the strange readings, made a note to report them later, then moved on to the next kennel. Behind her, Max's eyes followed, calculating, planning, waiting for his moment. The military kennel smelled of disinfectant and fear. Max lay in his run, watching the humans pass. His food bowl remained untouched. It had been 3 days since they took Lily away. 3 days of tests, scans, and strange humans talking about him as if he couldn't understand. But Max understood more than they knew. The neural implant at the base of his skull had been designed to enhance communication with his handler. Over time, it had done much more. Each scan they performed on him created new connections, expanded his awareness. Dr. Kate Simmons approached his kennel with a tablet in hand. Unlike the other humans, she spoke directly to him, not over him. "How are you doing today, Max?" she asked, kneeling to his level. Max watched her carefully. She smelled different from the others, less fear, more curiosity. He stood and moved closer to the bars. Kate looked at her tablet, frowning at the readings. "Your neural patterns are unlike anything I've seen before," she murmured. "They almost look human." Max whined softly and placed his paw against the bars. Kate hesitated, then touched her hand to his paw. Something unexpected happened. A flash of connection. Images passed from dog to human. Lily in her cell. Data files showing tampered evidence. A shadowy figure erasing records. Kate jerked her, hand back, eyes wide. "What was that?" Max barked once softly. Kate glanced over her shoulder to make sure no one was watching. then leaned closer to the kennel. That wasn't supposed to happen. The implant shouldn't allow direct neural transfer. She tapped on her tablet, pulling up Max's file. You were Officer Martinez's partner for 4 years. Her file says she's been convicted of treason. Max growled low at the word, treason. You don't believe it either, do you? Kate whispered. The veterinary scientist made a decision. After her shift ended, she returned to the kennel area with a portable neural scanner. Her own design, not the military-issue equipment. She opened Max's kennel and attached the device to his implant. This should allow clearer communication, she said. If there's something you want to tell me, this might help. The scanner hummed to life. On Kate's tablet, words began to form. Lily innocent. Framed. Need help. Kate nearly dropped the tablet. This is impossible, she whispered. The implants were never designed to. More words appeared. Each scan improves function. Can now interface with systems. Need to reach Europa facility. Save Lily. Kate's brother had been executed 3 years earlier for espionage, charges she never believed. The evidence against him had appeared suddenly, perfectly assembled, just like with Officer Martinez. Who framed her? Kate asked. Unknown. High clearance, military or government. Need access to main systems. Kate knew helping Max would end her career, possibly her freedom. But the memory of her brother's empty eyes before they took him away made the decision easier. I have access to the veterinary database. It's connected to the main Confederation network. Max's tail wagged once. Tonight, no cameras, 2 White House to 2:15 a.m. System update. Kate returned that night as planned. The kennel wing was empty of staff, the security cameras blinking through their automated reset. She let Max out of his run and connected him to her workstation. The German Shepherd sat perfectly still as she linked her tablet to his neural implant. On the screen, she could see Max actively connecting to the facility's systems, accessing files at speeds no human could match. There, Max communicated through the tablet. Transport record, Lily on Europa now. Prisoner 37529. How do we reach? Europa? Kate asked. It's a military facility on Jupiter's moon. Need ship, smuggler outpost on Mars, contact there. Kate swallowed hard. You're asking me to break you out, steal a ship, and fly to the most secure prison in the solar system? Max turned his intelligent eyes to her. New words appeared on the tablet. Your brother Peter Simmons. File shows same pattern. Same people framed him. Kate's breath caught. How did you know his name? Just accessed his file. Not espionage. Saw something he shouldn't. Like Lily. Tears welled in Kate's eyes. They executed him for nothing. Help me. Justice for both. Kate wiped her eyes and began typing rapidly on her terminal. I can forge transfer orders to move you to the research facility. My credentials will get us that far. We'll need to steal a short-range shuttle from the landing bay. Max's tail wagged again. Getting out of the kennel facility proved easier than expected. Kate's forged orders passed inspection, and she walked Max through the halls on a leash as if conducting a routine transfer. His military-grade training kept him perfectly behaved, despite the excitement and tension radiating from both of them. The shuttle bay was minimally staffed during the night shift. Kate used her science division credentials to access a small transport vessel used for moving specimens between facilities. As they approached the shuttle, a security guard looked up from his station. Destination? He asked, barely glancing at them. Research Lab 7, Kate replied, showing her tablet, with the forged transfer order. Time-sensitive specimen transport. The guard nodded and returned to his screen. Kate and Max boarded the shuttle, closing the hatch behind them. I've never piloted anything bigger than a training simulator, Kate whispered as she slid into the pilot seat. Max placed his paw on the shuttle's control panel. His neural implant interfaced with the ship's systems. On Kate's tablet, new words appeared. I can guide. Basic navigation accessed. The shuttle's engines hummed to life. Kate followed Max's directions, easing the craft out of its berth and toward the open bay doors. No alarms sounded. No voices called for them to stop. In minutes, they were clear of the facility and accelerating toward the upper atmosphere. Only when Earth became a blue marble behind them did Kate allow herself to breathe. "We did it," she said, her voice shaking. "We actually did it." Max moved to the viewport, looking out at the stars. His mission had only just begun. Somewhere ahead lay Mars, and beyond that, Europa, where Lily waited in a cell, counting down the days until her execution. From the shuttle's communication array came a sudden burst of sound. An alert was being broadcast system-wide. "Attention all vessels. Be on lookout for stolen military shuttle. Fugitive scientist Catherine Simmons and military K-9 asset designated Max considered armed and dangerous. Approach with extreme caution." Kate looked at Max. "They know we're gone." On her tablet, new words formed. "Expected. Need to reach Mars. Before they catch us. Contact named Darius Wright, former pilot. We'll help." "How do you know he'll help us?" "He was framed too, different case. Same pattern, all connected." Kate set their course for Mars, wondering what she had gotten herself into and what conspiracy was so big that someone would frame and execute people across the solar system to protect it. The small shuttle drifted into Mars orbit 3 days later. Kate had removed their tracking beacon, but fuel was running low. They needed to land soon. There, Kate pointed to a cluster of lights on the red planet's surface. Olympus City. The main dome is controlled by the Confederation, but the outer rings are filled with smugglers, traders, and people who want to stay hidden. Max sat beside her in the co-pilot seat, his eyes fixed on the screens. Through his neural link to the shuttle, he had accessed Olympus City's entry protocols. On Kate's tablet, words appeared. "Landing codes acquired. Using old freight authorization, we'll pass basic scans." Kate guided the shuttle down as Max had instructed. The vessel shuddered as they entered the thin Martian atmosphere. Red dust swirled around the viewports. "Unidentified shuttle." A voice crackled over the comm. "State your business." Kate took a deep breath. "Supply delivery for Outpost 9. Authorization code Lima 742. A long pause followed. Kate and Max exchanged glances. "Authorization accepted. Proceed to landing pad 17. Kate exhaled in relief. The shuttle touched down amid a swirl of dust. They had made it to Mars, but what now? "We need to find this Darius Wright," Kate said, checking their supplies. "And we need new identities. They'll be looking for us." Max's paws tapped at the control panel. On the screen appeared an address. Sector 5, Docking Bay 23. The outer rings of Olympus City were a maze of narrow streets and makeshift structures built into the caverns beneath the Martian surface. Kate wore a hooded cloak to hide her face. Max walked beside her, his military collar removed, looking like an ordinary pet rather than a highly trained K-9 officer. They reached Docking Bay 23 as the artificial lighting dimmed for the Martian night cycle. A battered transport ship sat in the bay. The name Second Chance was painted on its hull in faded letters. A man worked beneath the ship, visible only by his legs sticking out from under the engine housing. Loud music played from somewhere inside the vessel. Kate hesitated. "Hello?" she called. The man slid out from under the ship. He looked to be in his 40s with a scar running down one side of his face. "Bay's closed. Whatever you're selling, I'm not buying." "Are you Darius Wright?" Kate asked. The man stood quickly, his hand moving to a weapon at his hip. "Who's asking?" Max stepped forward, positioning himself between Kate and Darius. The German shepherd's posture was alert, but not threatening. "My name is Kate Simmons. This is Max. We need your help to reach Europa." Darius laughed. "Europa? The prison moon? Nobody goes to Europa unless the Confederation is sending them there." His eyes narrowed. "Wait, Simmons and a dog? You're the fugitives they've been broadcasting about." Kate nodded. "Yes, but we were framed just like you were 8 years ago. Operation Starfall." Darius's face hardened. "How do you know about that?" Max moved to a nearby terminal connected to the ship's systems. He placed his paw on the screen. Data began flowing across the display. Darius's service record, the evidence used against him, his dishonorable discharge. Darius stared. What in the void is happening? Max has enhanced neural capabilities, Kate explained. He can access systems, find connections. He found patterns linking cases where people were framed by someone high in the Confederation. You, my brother, his handler Lily Martinez, and others. The dog did this? Darius looked skeptical. Max looked up at Darius and barked once. More. Data appeared on the screen. Side-by-side comparisons of the evidence patterns in multiple cases, all showing the same digital fingerprints. Impossible, Darius whispered. I spent 3 years trying to prove I was set up, never found anything this clear. We need to get to Europa, Kate said. Lily Martinez has less than 3 weeks before her execution. She might know something that connects all this. Darius ran a hand through his hair. Even if I believe this crazy story, my ship isn't ready for a Jupiter run. The engine's shot. Max moved to another terminal and pulled up the ship's diagnostics. Words appeared. Can fix, need parts. He says he can fix it, Kate translated. Darius looked between them. A dog mechanic. Now I've seen everything. They spent 2 days repairing the ship. Max's understanding of the systems proved invaluable. Through his neural link, he could diagnose problems the ship's computers missed. Darius's initial skepticism faded as he watched Max work. Where did this technology come from? Darius asked Kate as they shared a meal in the ship's small galley. I've never seen implants that can do what he does. The implants were standard K9 unit tech, Kate explained. But something changed. Each scan, each system Max connected to, expanded his capabilities. It's like the technology evolved. Max lay nearby, his eyes closed but his mind active. While they talked, he continued accessing distant systems through weak points in Mars's communication network. He was searching for information about Project Ascension, a name that had appeared in multiple classified files connected to the framed officers. On the 3rd day, as they prepared for launch, alarms sounded throughout the docking bay. Attention, all vessels. This is Confederation security. We have reports of fugitives in this sector. All ships are grounded until inspections are complete. Darius cursed. They found us. Max barked, drawing their attention to the main view screen. A message appeared. Diversion needed. Northeast oxygen recyclers. Can trigger minor alarm. Kate nodded. Do it. Max connected to the station's environmental systems. Seconds later, alarms blared from the opposite side of the dome. Announcements redirected security forces to contain a supposed oxygen leak. Now's our chance, Darius said, jumping into the pilot's seat. Hold on. The second chance lifted off. Engines roaring. Kate strapped herself in while Max stayed connected to the station systems, keeping their departure hidden from sensors as long as possible. They broke through the thin Martian atmosphere just as pursuit ships began to launch. Darius punched the main thrusters, and the stars stretched into lines around them as they accelerated away from Mars. We made it, Kate breathed. Don't celebrate yet, Darius warned. It's a long trip to Jupiter, and they'll be waiting for us. Max moved to the ship's navigation system. New data appeared on the screen, a route that would take them through the asteroid belt, using the larger rocks as cover from Confederation sensors. Smart dog, Darius admitted. But even with this route, we're looking at a week of travel. The Confederation will have time to set up checkpoints. Max's attention shifted to a storage compartment. Through the tablet, he communicated. Need to access more systems. Learning about Project Ascension connected to alien contact. Alien contact? Kate repeated in surprise. What are you talking about? Before Max could respond, a proximity alarm sounded. A Confederation patrol ship had appeared on their sensors, closing fast. They're hailing us, Darius said. Must have spotted us leaving Mars. What do we do? Kate asked. Darius grinned. Now we see if all those engine repairs were worth it. He pushed the throttle forward. Let's show them what the second chance can do. The ship surged forward, outpacing the patrol vessel. As they raced toward the asteroid belt, Max continued his silent work, piecing together the mystery that had cost so many lives, and might soon cost Lily hers. The journey through the asteroid belt took 4 tense days. Darius guided the second chance with the skill of a veteran pilot, weaving between massive rocks while staying hidden from Confederation patrols. Their ship's power was kept low to avoid detection, leaving the cabin cold and dim. Max spent most of his time connected to the ship's communication array. While Kate and Darius slept, the German Shepherd processed vast amounts of data from intercepted transmissions. His neural implant glowed softly in the darkness as he pieced together fragments of classified information. On the 5th day, Jupiter appeared on their view screens, a giant swirl of red and orange with its dozens of moons. Europa was a small, white dot orbiting the massive planet. "There it is," Darius said. "Europa, the most secure prison in the solar system." Kate leaned forward, studying the moon. "How do we get in? The security must be incredible." "It is," Darius confirmed. "I made deliveries there once before my discharge. Multiple shield layers, automated defense systems, and constant patrols." Max barked, drawing their attention to the main screen. A detailed map of Europa's facility appeared, showing entry points, patrol schedules, and maintenance tunnels. "Where did you get this?" Kate asked in amazement. Words appeared on her tablet. "Accessed Confederation security network, used multiple back doors, found weakness in maintenance scheduling." Darius studied the map. "There's a waste removal tunnel here that gets regular shipments. If we can disguise ourselves as a supply transport, we might be able to dock." "What about Lily?" Kate asked. "How do we find her inside?" More words appeared on the tablet. "Prisoner records accessed. Lily held in Section 7, Cell 1138. Execution scheduled in 9 days. Kate's face paled. 9 days. We're cutting it close. "What's this Project Ascension you mentioned?" Darius asked Max. "You said it was connected to alien contact?" Max's eyes seemed troubled. He hesitated before accessing the ship's main screen again. Images appeared. Strange geometrical structures floating in deep space, followed by classified reports with most text redacted. First contact already happened. Max communicated through the tablet. 6 years ago. Deep Space Monitoring Station. Detected signal. High-ranking officials responded privately. Made deal with aliens. "A deal?" Kate asked. "What kind of deal?" "Technology exchange. Aliens gave advanced neural technology. Officials promised human subjects for study." Darius and Kate exchanged horrified glances. "Are you saying the Confederation is trading humans to aliens?" Darius asked. "Not random humans." Max's message continued. "Specific types. Military and law enforcement personnel. People who make moral decisions under pressure. Aliens study their neural patterns during death." "Neural dissolution," Kate whispered, remembering Lily's sentence. "They're not executing prisoners. They're harvesting their consciousness for aliens to study." "But why frame innocent people?" Darius asked. "Why not use actual criminals?" "Need specific neural profiles. Everyone who was framed had access to deep space monitoring sectors. Might have discovered truth. Framing them solved 2 problems." The ship suddenly rocked violently. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. "Patrol ship!" Darius shouted, grabbing the controls. "They must have spotted us." Another blast hit them, sending Kate tumbling from her seat. Max braced himself against the wall, still connected to the system. "Engines at 60%, Darius reported. "One more hit like that and we're done." Max barked urgently. New words appearing. "Let me take control, can mask our signature." Darius hesitated only briefly before nodding. "Do it." Max's neural implant glowed brighter as he connected directly to the ship's core systems. The lights dimmed, then returned. The engine noise changed pitch. On the scanner, their ship's signature transformed to match that of a routine waste management vessel. The patrol ship hesitated, then moved away. "It worked," Kate said in relief. "For now," Darius cautioned. But that trick won't get us through the main security checkpoint. Max's next message was concerning. Need direct neural interface with Europa facility. Must get closer. They approached Europa cautiously, broadcasting the fake waste management codes Max had generated. As they neared the moon's surface, they received an automated landing clearance for docking bay 12. I can't believe this is working, Kate whispered, as Darius guided them down to the landing pad. Stay alert, Darius warned. Getting in might be the easy part. Getting out with Lily will be much harder. Once docked, they prepared to enter the facility. Darius had found maintenance uniforms in the ship's storage. Max's military appearance was harder to disguise. He'll stand out, Darius said. A German shepherd in a prison facility will raise questions. Kate thought for a moment, then found a service animal vest in the medical supplies. This might help. Not perfect, but better than nothing. They exited the ship cautiously. The docking bay was automated with no guards present. Max led them to a service corridor, his enhanced senses detecting the movement patterns of security personnel. Through maintenance tunnels and service shafts, they made their way deeper into the facility. Max accessed door controls through his neural implant, guiding them toward Section 7 where Lily was held. Security checkpoint ahead, Max communicated. Guards present. Need diversion. Darius nodded. I'll handle it. He deliberately tripped an alarm in a nearby section, drawing the guards away. When the corridor cleared, they hurried forward. Max accessed the cell block controls, and the door to Section 7 slid open. The prison section was cold and silent. 2 rows of cells lined the walls, most empty. At the far end, they found cell 1138. Max barked softly. Inside the cell, a figure stirred. Kate, watch the corridor, Darius said. Max, can you open this door? Max placed his paw on the control panel. The cell door hissed open. Lily Martinez sat up on her narrow bed, her eyes widening in disbelief. She looked thinner, her face pale, but her eyes lit up when she saw Max. Max? She whispered. How? The German shepherd rushed to her, pressing his head against her hand. The moment their implants connected, information flowed between them. Everything Max had discovered, everything Lily had experienced. We have to hurry, Darius said from the doorway. Guards will be back soon. Lily stood shakily. There are others. 5 more prisoners with the same sentence. They all worked deep space monitoring stations. More proof of the pattern, Kate said. Can we free them too? A new alarm suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red emergency lights began flashing. Intruder alert, all personnel to security stations. Prison break in progress in Section 7. How did they know? Kate asked, panicked. Max barked in warning. On Lily's wrist communicator, words appeared. Trap. They expected us. Security Chief Baker, monitoring communications, knew we were coming. Who's Baker? Darius asked, drawing his weapon. Special Agent Paul Baker, Lily said. He led my arrest. He's been hunting Max since the escape. We need to move, Darius urged. Is there another way out? Max accessed the facility systems again, searching for an escape route, but the security lockdown had sealed most pathways. Central control room, Max communicated. 2 levels up. Can access all systems from there. Might find proof to expose Project Ascension. They heard boots in the corridor. Guards were approaching from both directions. No choice, Lily said, her strength returning now that Max was by her side. We fight our way to central control. Max barked in agreement, his eyes fixed on Lily. Whatever happened next, they would face it together.